Famudona, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on a day. And welcome to the program Inside Salon today. Now, the then and now media empire, where they broadcast live na Facebook. Me now, na host and presenter, Mohammed Kamara, commonly known as Supermed. And today, na Saturday, the 1st of August, 2020. But first of all, this program and this platform, one wish Eid Mubarak to all who viewers them and listeners them na Salon and all around the world. Inside the program today, what we title, if KKY and NGC don't compromise the integrity. We can look at the NGC party with the leader, Dr. Kane Koleyomkela, since after 2018 election, where he become an honorable member of parliament, and plenty decisions where he don't take, because it's very, very important for me, this platform, for me, we all politicians accountable. And no matter if not the ruling party, the main opposition, or whichever politician na Salon we need for all them accountable. So today, we can look the NGC and the leader, when also the leader in the parliament, when the honorable Dr. Kane Koleyomkela, and the what they don't do for contribute in terms of governance in our country. Because ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, parliament is part of the government. The three arms of government, we get the judiciary, we get the legislature, we get the executive. So the parliament is the legislative arm of governance. And we get the executive, we say the president and minister, they all day. Then obviously we get the judiciary and the courts and all that. So this time it make up the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, according to the 1991 constitution, where all the operations is codified by that particular constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, before I go any further, I want to urge you to share this program. Because inside this program today, we get plenty revelations what we can make about the NGC party, the leader, in relation to how we don't make revelations, how we don't hold accountable the other parties, like the APC party, the SLPP party. So today, we'll focus on this particular platform, don't turn to the NGC, the National Grand Coalition, and the leader, winner Dr. Kane Koleyomkela. So please, I want to share the program. Let plenty people go get the opportunity for Kanye live, proper objective view. We in this platform, we're very accountable to what we say. And always before I begin me talk, I can give differences, because some people will say this are the true, or this is not fact, or this is not opinion. Then three things are they all different, but sometimes we can mix them up. We can mix them up, bad one. If I follow, we understand them. So I can give you a clear layman differences between them here. You know, people can say the truth, but is the truth the fact? We need to understand that one day. Because if Mr. Coker can tell me, say, I just come on a Stephen Stadium, they don't plant baby quantity mindu day. The me take that message. I go tell Mr. Toure say, Mr. Coker tell me say, they don't plant baby quantity mindu stadium. From your angle, what I tell Mr. Toure, I tell him the truth. Because now exactly waiting, Mr. Coker tell me go tell him. But the question here is, if not true, say they never plant quantity in the stadium, it probably be so not true. But what did me tell Mr. Toure? Now exactly what did Mr. Coker tell me. So you see the truth again different. But the fact now is, if Stephen Stadium they don't plant 6 days at Naples, so I can able to tell Mr. Toure or everybody say Right now at Napna Stadium, I can able confirm to una say they don't plan to minu the stadium. This not facts. Because I can able proving something that you are able to prove in front of me. Just like we were able to prove say that is day, that is night. So you see the difference between fact and truth there. So now this with particular platform here, we very, very objective. We make sure say we bring down the story to the best of our ability. After thorough research, we don't talk to plenty people. We don't find out plenty things. We bring a cancer. And again, please, I want to share this program. Now we get plenty people men witness this program because this is a maiden program. Because for the first time, I believe say I not say other platform them all know. I'm not gonna know all the platform them. But the crusade will don't begin at this platform. Now for make sure say we all politicians na Sierra Leone to account. Some people they say, why would I not be done do them before? Yes, even if not be done do them before, no means say we not for do them now. Now the responsibility of we all Sierra Leoneans them. Following the all people them in authority, people them in governance, people that lead in that country to account. Now we present the fact to the general population, but they know what's they go on. So today I want to begin with a short history of Honorable Dr. Kande Kole Yomkela. Since when he don't join governance after the 2018 election, when he become a member of parliament. Not only leader and flag bearer of Impatio, now in a part and parcel of the government of Sierra Leone as a member of parliament. So I want to bring your attention to something we don't pass over a year ago. I don't know if most of them will recollect. When one press release will come out when they talk say MPs them then request for men pay them so money, pay them almost $1,000 for them wardrobe, pay them almost $1,000 for them medical, and so on and so forth. Plenty Sierra Leoneans and be amazed. They say, but the MP there, all them will get man for request then kind here. Then babala expenses the yaso. When they know say salon a popo country and plenty people in the country where they suffer. When they salary in a pittance, when they do a great job for the country. So many people then be surprised, they be shocked, they be horrified by that suggestion there where the MP then be. And again, a background to that particular thing there because the information may not be just leaked no more so. The information leak according to investigation when the Ministry of Finance in the country be one gets a own private procurement department, but the MPs in the parliament not be like that idea there. They not be think say the Ministry of Finance forget their own private procurement. So then we feel say because of that they refuse, the Ministry of Finance be try for blackmail them in somehow for release the information they also to the public for tell and say they MP how they make like say they want fight for now. Look what's in the request. I want to follow this story, ladies and gentlemen. Very important to follow this story. You know, take them from a long time ago, wait till it happen. So this story be come out na door. And plenty of people be vexed and say, boy, una the MP down wicked. Look the people in a salon, how they suffer. Una they can demand for thousands of dollars for wardrobe, for medical, for all kinds of things. Plenty money. When the ordinary Sierra Leone and the world itself forgets who said they get them, then leave them daily bread. No problem. What will we do whether outcry they happen? What will we see? The Honorable Kande Kole Yomkela, now the one of the first member of parliament will come out for go criticize and company member of parliament. I must say, wow, this is not true, this man don't talk so. But suddenly what you will see is that the other members of parliament from all the other main parties and come out na go na television, na radio, say they were very shocked that Mr. The Honorable Kane Kole Yom Kela, they criticize them now. We're in one of the ringleaders for that plan day, for them demanding they basically now they among the Kakatoa them for negotiate that negotiation and present them to the Ministry of Finance. But just now, because things don't go bad, because there's a massive outcry, they don't come out quickly for go condemn them. Say this is not correct. So they were shocked, disappointing, and feel betrayed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important. Lord, watch this topic from this angle. These people feel betrayed. Say, boy, this man here, when I've been front and center, follow negotiate them benefit the YASO. Lord, send them to the Ministry of Finance from a negotiation point of view. So the Ministry of Finance will be able to meet we halfway. When this thing out, the Ministry of Finance don't come blackmail we because we're not happy. When they want to set a procurement department at the Ministry of Finance, this man is the first person we're going to radio for go talk so for condemn with all MPs and say, we demand they will make it outrageous as if it not be the part and parcel of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I get me points here because I know say people then go there na social media, we go interpret it differently, say this person, they want to assassinate the person in character, they want to talk about this man bad. Not at all. We at this platform are very, very, very objective and thoroughly they investigate them thing they are so and bring and come to UNA to the best of our ability. And UNA go be the judge. Like what I tell you also, I not go announce the post here so we get for Can January, but we'll get forget a mystery guest as well. We'll get for Can January for help for Rob Mott for this talk here. Instead go look at maybe from different angles. And I possibly I believe say instead of make plenty research, but this topic what we talk about so today. So it's very, very important for make we watch them here so from them particular angle there so. Ladies and gentlemen, at the urging again, please, allow we share so that plenty people go can witness this discussion. Because like we are telling no more, a very, very important discussion. Where we want make una can see them from our own different points of views them. Because it's also very important we now this platform with a research team them, with a look at them thoroughly and present out to una. Una go be the judges them. So this now one point this year so par the Honorable Dr. Kane Yom Kela in life in governance. Now one of the first thing that where people like when are progressive and patriotic Sierra Leoneans them notice and who feel say this let not be say this person they want to talk about this man bad. May not be say this person he want come for come full we. He don't tell all they see people that try for full Sierra Leoneans them. And now I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we'll not go fall for him anymore. We present the facts to the best of our ability. And this after thorough research. So please, ladies and gentlemen, una share this video. Like I tell you also, we'll get also a secret guest we're going to come up. We're send us somebody. We don't do thorough research for this particular topic what they discuss today. Where now, if KKY and NGC don't compromise the integrity. Don't forget, this party, be see themselves say they are above the other party, the more they meet. They say they don't mix by yuki, they don't mix by lie, they don't mix by corruption, they don't mix by nothing. Then kind of politics in a salon for can practice straightforward politics. For make sure say them put country first. Plenty Sierra Leone and be welcome. Say yes, we want somebody them when they talk so. But they say action speaks louder than voice. Action speaks louder than voice. Now we don't begin judge them when they say don't be part of governance. Like where I tell you just now where I begin to talk is that the NGC party and the Honorable Kane Kole Yom Kela as a leader in parliament and then former flag bearer as well. Then a part and parcel of government. Then are the legislative arm of government. So now we get self for all them accountable. But as I don't narrate to now, what happened first, this first instance, it left plenty doubts. Now some of we were patriotic and progressive Sierra Leoneans them They ask, worry, wonder, say, what? Why this? Anyway, we say Lord will give them the benefit of the doubt. This man, it just kind of parliament force. Maybe they try for Fanny when a parliament. Although now we get vast experience when I work with world leaders then. Now in previous job where they work, so they expect much from them. But anyway, Lord get the benefit of the doubt, and Lord will move on to the second instance again, where I can bring counsel as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue for share, because I will plenty people and witness this particular discussion where they unravel after thorough investigation and plenty research. What will be happening again? We see where this pandemic ravaged the whole world. We see we contribute by preparedness, this COVID-19 coronavirus. And we in this platform would join all the people in worldwide for express with sincere condolence to all the people who don't die worldwide, including we country Sierra Leone. May God sorry for them, may God give them good road. And also they pray, may God go come inside by this sick, may God help in one whole world, because this sick don't become a big problem for we all. So what's be happening when this sick be the approach we country? We see the government will take plenty steps then, where some of them are a little bit late, but better late than never. So one of the things is the president we think say they need a state of emergency. So plenty of who say yes, it's very important, men declare a public health emergency so that government will get some powers them for preparing themselves for fight this sick here. But what will be see where we confuse most of we is for like government will declare 1 year state of emergency. And by then the sick not be even enter our country that much yet. And we see back say, what so country then says where thousands of people in Nepal die. They not do that and declare like 3 months. And as how did they go now? So they extend a small, they assess the situation. So we talk to parliamentarians them. Say, well, what did the parliamentarian go do about this? Then suddenly what will we see the parliamentarian approve this year also. Then tell we say, government can come back to them, then go put the terms of reference. This not only a state of emergency as that, this is a public health emergency. They explain to we plenty things. And we also get for no say, the Honorable Kande Kole Yom Kela, now one party key person will be the intermediary between the government and the parties and the opposition party in the parliament. We will be look at this here thoroughly because everybody be concerned. Everybody be want to fight this sick. You know, but they be concerned, say, why the president need 1 year state of emergency? So Kande Kole Yom Kela become the intermediary, the go-between between the factions in the parliament, and for break or something, when they approve this state of emergency. With the confidence we don't get to in fellow parliamentarians and say, government and Tonjia will come back to them, they go put terms of references, how this whole thing will operate. So with shock and surprise, we see the clerk of parliament suspend parliament. We say, what? That means the state of emergency continues. Then at that time, now we hear other parliamentarians, they grumble, they feel betrayed. And the Honorable Kande Yom Kela, now be the center of this. He says, well, the AGB is supposed to cancel them back. And most of one of the progressive and patriotic Sierra Leoneans be posed the question. So the Honorable KKY say, this man supposed to get plenty experience. This man don't work with world body them, world leaders them. How he go be so naive for many people that go fuller? So we doubt and confuse. Plenty people them confuse and doubt. So what thing they go on? And it is they lead me to the next question again. How comes a party with a small representation of parliament, they be so vital in terms of what in government want bring kind of parliament? So the suspicion of arise now, so say, what in the relationship between the Honorable Kane Kolayom Kela and the current government. Because we see say anything where governments they worry about, when they need for kind of a parliament with, like that 10 days, so that state of emergency, government be no say they need what they call a 2/3 majority for declare a state of emergency. So 75% of people in the parliament for agree before this go through. Otherwise, it not go through at all. And then they always rely on this honorable way before say, Honorable KK gets only 3 people, including himself, make 4 in the parliament. So this is another question we for ponder, we for think. Say, why is that? And the jury, they out on that. And that question go to all as well, whether on the platform where they watch this program. I want to tell thank you plenty, and please, wanna continue for share. Because it's very important, as we lay and see us so open to the people they know what they go on, make we get plenty people where go come and watch and know what they really go on in our country, Sierra Leone. Because plenty things they go on. And again, I want to thank you. Time will come, I will begin with some of the comments them and make people then share their comments and opinion them. It's very important. Don't watch the history force from where the Honorable Kane Kolayom Kela and in party NGC don't kind of parliament, don't be part of government, and then how the narrative say then they above all this yuki business. Then na country force. Then they're straightforward. They don't mix but no corruption, no nothing. But now the practices of the party in the parliament with the leader them, it kind of a little bit baffling to we. Some say they think say then people they want pass the rule over we aid or waiting that expression day. So it's very important. Now, when I say the last straw that breaks the camel back, say camel and animal when they take heavy load. First thing at the Arabian Peninsula, all kinds of they want to travel with businessmen, they more all even salts. Now camel they use now make camel business and agents people get big plenty camel and agents people because they transport plenty things. But when you don't overload the camel, you don't overload them, maybe small, even something like the weight of a needle. Now you go put that in back, where you go make it collapse. Ladies and gentlemen, now that's what they come to sue. Because we see the appointments when we make, the now approved National Electoral Commissioner, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, where now Mr. Mohamed Kone, now they don't approve him, but then they just appoint him. Parliament be need for approval, pending parliamentary approval. Now, waiting we baffle we think that this statement, in fact, was very disingenuous because the Honorable Kane Kolayom Kela say with a legal team them, he said they don't see no barrier by this appointment and not see no way unlawful para. Then feel say this appointment, well, for put them in a clear picture, it's very constitutional. Well, people like when are progressive and patriotic Sierra Leoneans, we say do research. We decide for look for this man in background. When I be director of FIU, when I the Financial Intelligence Unit, then we also know say the Financial Intelligence Unit was created by an act of parliament. And the employees them, in that particular department here, then they pay them through the consolidated fund. So that don't make that particular office there a public office. And whoever they work there, it don't become a public officer. It's very important how we look and force that way. I think section 32, section 75, section 76, 1A of the Constitution talk about all LinkedIn and day. Then I think 75 tell we about the qualification then for become a chief electoral commissioner in our country. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen. He said that the same qualification for become a member of parliament now apply. So if you not qualify for become a member of parliament, you not qualify for become a chief electoral commissioner. So I hope so that get me the gift, ladies and gentlemen, because whatever bill the case here, let una be the judge. It's very, very important. Let una be the judge. Because the Honorable Kane Kole Yom Kela tell we say, you don't see in lawyers them. They don't see no legal thing where them feel say on constitutional police appointments. But we not lay people them. We're not a lawyer them more. We are people more progressive and patriotic Sierra Leoneans them where they follow what they happen in our country, we try and manage, forget with 1991 constitution, and read plenty silent day where people that want legal experts them don't advise we. And we don't need them and understand them. We really get them plenty that we understand them. So we say if the chief electoral commissioner now the same qualification for becoming a member of parliament, and 76(1)(a) tell with the qualification them, then as section 76(1)(a) of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, tell we say, for like become a member of parliament, you know, if you're not a public officer, you for not left your job at least 1 year. You for not resign from your job. I don't know if that maybe I don't like that law day. But the law is the law. If we don't like law, we can change them. Or parliamentarians we can lobby them and change the law. But we're not going to say that law they went on there, we go jump on because that don't make all the way to they do illegitimate, unconstitutional. And don't forget the NGC and the leader, Honorable Dr. Kane Kole Yom Kela, say that they don't tell out people they bastardize the constitution. They can follow the constitution, respect the rule of law. But again, why they tell now say this not contravene the constitution at all. And we say I'm clearly there 76(1)(a) now the constitution talk say if you're not a public officer, if you don't resign, you left your job at least 1 year before you go able to contest or become a member of parliament. So this same law apply if you want to become chief electoral commissioner. If you don't resign from your public office, and I don't tell you now say the financial intelligence unit, now an arm of government, now parliament creates them. And then they get the people who work, the employees, then they get a salary from the consolidated fund. And we know say this particular approved chief electoral commissioner now, when Mr. Mohamed Kone, but they work there until a few weeks recently before he resigned. And not dispute that fact. So this is thorough. So automatically, Mr. Mohamed Kone, when the chief electoral commissioner now approved, I foresee they don't approve him now because before now they just a nominee. Now parliament actually don't approve him. Now be a public servant. And if they get in salary from the consolidated fund, so that automatically, according to the constitution, even me not a lawyer, me not a layman, I just follow the constitution and they able to establish and say in appointment was highly questionable at least. But the Honorable Kane Yom cannot say questionable. He not even say questionable. He say no see no legal reason why then for question that appointments he not say he unconstitutional at all. But again, like I don't explain to them. Say the office where the man be there, the financial intelligence unit. And also for the fact that now a public office and the salary they come out from the consolidated fund, don't make him in as a public officer. And definitely he just resigned from that job a few weeks back. So that means he not resign for that 1 year, according to 76(1)(a) of the constitution. We say if you want to become an MP and you're a public officer, you for not resign at least 1 year before you go apply for becoming a member of parliament. And these same rules apply if you want to become a chief electoral commissioner. And it's very important to establish this. We know say Mr. Mohamed Kone, the chief electoral commissioner, will not replace Mr. Amfale Conte because parliament will approve him. We know that. But we want honesty. We still say the statement we come out from the NGC and the leader, when Honorable Dr. Kane Koloyomkela, is very, very disingenuous, very, very deceitful. According to the investigation, what we don't make, the research what we don't do on this platform, when a thorough research, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. Make we lay them facts there to we all. Make we begin ask to say the question. Say them people there we come. Say the one can trade politics in our country. The one put country first. Are they really genuine? This is the question here. Are they really genuine? Or the miller? Or maybe they just want to manipulate we, lie power we, for men and get power now we country. Because don't get me wrong, this man they don't approve him anyway now 78 to 51. 78 yes, 51 no. The opposition then, where last time they all be go to the other side, it probably for be still win by just a slight margin. But that the principle now very, very important here. If this party, the NGC party, and the leader, KKY, say they come for put country first, they don't mix for no ben. They want straightforward politics. We they expect them say them for lead by example. We they expect them say them for be very, very straightforward. We they expect them say the principle them for follow not straight principle, not to ben principle, not to yuki principle, not to dabaru business principle. So, but we they smell the rats as they can say. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important for us to put this fact to una so that una will be the judge. And again, we also the question the fact say we get paramount chief them. And also we constitution allow them in votes in parliament. But again, like all they say, no one get law them always can be reviewed as a progressive and patriotic Sierra Leonean. What we don't see is that the paramount chiefs them, then they always vote with the government of the day. And we'll get critical issues them now the country where parliament get for voting. Is this not an ignorance for we now with democracy? All these now other question will relate to una. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be promising to say we'll get a mystery guest. And I'll come the mystery guest that have for joining now, and they can admit him, and hopefully una go see him. The mystery guest now no other person other than the CEO and founder of this platform, when I'm Mr. Prince Emile Kroma. And this particular man, plenty Sierra Leoneans, na salon and worldwide, nobody this man in credibility. This man is a very, very objective journalist when they looked in straight forward, when they take in time for investigating him thoroughly. Welcome, Mr. Prince Emile Kroma, to the program Inside Salon today. We gladly plenty of away journey because I be telling me audience them, me viewers them say we get a mystery guest where they can help we for Rob Mott by this talk here so. So Mr. Prince Kroma, welcome. And maybe you want to say one or two words to the viewers then.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Mr. Mohammed Supermed Kamara, host of Salon, Inside Salon today. Thank you for that marvelous introduction. Of course, the mystery guest can only be mystery at some point, and at some other point, he or she is no longer a mystery, as you can see him physically, and you're able to touch him if possible. Yes, I would like for Rob Mott small some of the things them, you talk about specifically on a particular issue. But once again, to the guests then, I want to say thank you for staying, put with the then and now. And the way Mr. Kamara introduced me, I'm very, very impressed because that's what it is. But that not mean say other people and not get a view of things, which we also equally respect. Remember, we can talk about objectivity and subjectivity. But as we get for land along the way, we know say one person in objectivity It's another person's subjectivity. So we get to learn all of these things along the way. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara, sir. Thank you for bringing me on.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emikoma. I'm glad plenty man forget somebody of your own caliber at this platform and for helping for Rob for this talk. As maybe you'll be the follower, we will not get a brief history of Mr. Kane Kole Yomkela, when a member of parliament and the leader of the NGC party in parliament as well, and a former leader and flag bearer. And history will not be part of government. We don't let the history take him. But one of the key questions I will ask you is, how comes this man, where in a number of parliament, including himself, now the only number 4, now 4 no more MPs them. How comes they're so critical about government business? Because we don't see plenty to the color parliament when a crucial thing them. This man it seems to they play a key role. Where many people now they look and say this key role it link towards the government. You also have plenty one. What's your take on that?
Thank you very much for asking such a critical question. Now, a question when myself impose now many social handles them, and I know the lashback, even though some people are not being get time, for sort of process the question what been they ask, which is exactly what you've arrived at. What we can normally ask with Fambulin for do. Now, for look at things, from not a subjective point of view, because they subject me to my objectivity and then make me or try to make me the issue. But when I post something, keep an open mind and try to look at that thing they were post from an open mindset. In other words, we know how we parliamentary democracy they work. We know say it's about numbers. It's about the numbers with the inside parliament. That's how it becomes influential. That's how decisions are made. That's how you can politic within, and then the numbers now comprise of the greater. So yes, a minute or a party where infinitesimally small, like that of Dr. Kande, can get an influence, but again for the play ball with the others there, and not only go to make the announcements or the champion the cause. So that goes back to the question where you asked me. It seemed like now Dr. Kande, now in the make them pronouncement there, it seems like say now Indian at the driving seat, and I believe say the question is how. I post recently say, how come Dr. Kande seem for the champion then kind cause there? And myself it baffled me. So hence the question why I asked. Could it possibly be say it play games, with the party then way relevant? In other words, what I say relevant, the party then way decision them they want so badly, and in the end then decision then they pass. And Dr. Kande, despite in small percentage na parliament, 3 or 4 of them, yet still is so dominant and relevant, and basically they make them pronouncement, and which is shocking to very many people in the sense that we understand, or we should understand, with democracy how it works, especially inside parliament. So there are questions around this Dr. Kande Kole Yomkela, the way how they perform within parliament, where make people ask the question, has he compromised? Or more better said, like in the present continuous, is he compromising his integrity, his principles, things that we've been telling we about, say, these are the things that I stand for. It seems like, yes, because some of the views that are being passed are not really popular. We can talk about the emergency, the special emergency way come about and way they make for about a year. We shock a lot of people, and because it's like for a year, that's kind of shocking. And even Dr. Kande Kole Yomkela come out and say, no, this wasn't what was discussed. You see some of the things that we will talk about, now things that were in the public domain, but only if we can listen good, because the position where some of us day in now, we tend not for listen, we tend only for blame and point fingers at, instead of we listen, waiting actually then at the public domain. So for deal with them one by one, let we begin with the pronouncement regarding the special emergency, or the emergency which came about as a consequence of the public health emergency. They say
okay,
1 year.
Please, Koma, please, I
yes,
want to only fair this small, because waiting to now very important thing I want to talk about, because many people they think I'm saying, the Honorable Dr. Kane Kole Yomkela, with vast experience, we don't work like international, but we don't work with plenty leaders then, and it don't come say in a different way. Although they're like very tiny number of parliament, I believe say the other main protagonists in a parliament take and say, okay, this man will be some sort of a broker. People trusted him because income say, okay, me in a different way, me I want to do all things honest, everything straightforward. But what was so disappointing for that particular issue is that how this man them go lead a negotiation because I have the intermediary, according to the sources the more don't get for that particular negotiation, they say, no, we can give una first all you wanna need government, una go come later and we'll fine tune them. How it look either is very disingenuous or you don't know what they do. Many people are confused by that particular situation, that 1 year state of emergency, and how they end up the champion between the different parties then. So I want to zoom into I'm let you try for explain to Fambulem how that be very, very important in terms of integrity of the man and empathy.
Obviously, thank you very much, Mr. Superman Kamara, for refine-tuning the question so we'll make Fambulem for understand. Fambulem, here is the thing. Some time ago, because of impending pandemic, we get dictum does matter. Because of an impending pandemic, the president asked per provision of the constitution, go on for say, because we expect this pandemic for come, we prepare ourselves so that in case it should land, the impact will be less because we are prepared. So the president go on and declare a state of emergency based on the public health emergency. But when the president do this, because the president, as per the constitution, get right, he can make that declaration day, and when they don't make that declaration they stand. But within the same vein, at some point, that declaration will have to go to parliament because the country, the Republic of Sierra Leone, is a parliamentary democracy. So the issue of the public state of emergency was taken to parliament, where Dr. Kande Yunkela then championed that cause day. So the president gets away with that 1 year where he asks for. Only when the public begin for cry, how come? Why will it be 1 year? Because we expect, say, now a few weeks, now a few months, but subjected to review. And guess what? We, the public, were right. Because the people and we championed the cause, especially Dr. Kande Yunkela, we've been there before this talk. Dr. Kande then come publicly, and at this would they say to the general public, the doctor, the honorable doctor, come out publicly and say, not so we've been taught. These were not part of the arrangement. And he made clear what was the arrangement all about, the time frame and etc. And waiting the other side when they talk about came about like a shock to Ram. So it made that clearly like a picture for let we zoom in and understand exactly, say, Dr. Kande waiting and negotiate, not to that the president or the government in the talk. But somehow, the government managed to get away with that because as we talk, Fambulem, unalo we refer back to Dr. Kande Yunkela, and also some people can get archives, some people can get dates, some people can go back to YouTube. This is very important. So we can begin for collecting data than they ourselves. So it's not like we play a blame game, but actually waiting then at the public domain so we can argue back and forth and arrive at concrete answers what the issues are. Dr. Kande Yunkela come up publicly and say, not also we be agree. We not be agree, say 1 year. We be understand, say, we go get for do a review, which is the normal cause of action. And that normal cause of action there in terms of the review will be something like 90 days. But that 90 days now we understand, say, the other side, they say, not so. And as we speak now, that 1 year, it dated today. And what we need for look at is during the proclamation of that 1 year emergency, from that point up to this point, the 3 months review period where we anticipate even, say, not as just as an academic exercise we go do it not happen. And as far as we're concerned, it's been gazetted. Now 1 year business now with DEPA. And this is a clear violation of the constitutional amendment, then with constitutional rights, and as stipulated by the 1991 Constitution, and with parliamentary people. So Dr. Kande sort of they took the heavy load but things not seem for the go the way. Probably it anticipate them because, like you asked the question, is it because no? If we say so, that will be an understatement because that means we go to underrate this exemplary, doctor. Say no, he does know. That brings me back to what I said quite recently in the public domain. Is he compromising his integrity? Is he compromising his principles? Is he showing, because there is this common denominator or common mantra in which we understand, say, all politics, whether now African politics or Western politics, is gutter politics, is dirty politics. So waiting, most of we expect of Dr. Kande, say he will fine-tune politics for reflect something else. It's not to be, because as we see him, it all boils down to gutter politics. So this is what we see Dr. Kande do.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma. Like when you it's a particular point no more, we're not gonna say this man with all the experience, obviously he know what he do, and he get plenty advisors them. Now let's say I be describe them say now the final straw we broke the camel back. We make people take note and say, let's sit but let's watch this man thoroughly. Because the message we can't we with where he say Salon force, mix for Ben, all thing for betrayed. They don't say I say that message is highly compromised. With this latest incident we happen at Parliament, where the now approved Chief Electoral Commissioner Mr. Mohamed Kone go through Parliament. Mr. Kande Yomkela say he ain't lawyer them, sit down and discuss them, and you don't see no unconstitutionality in appointment. But like we have the try for Freeman, I don't know, maybe you say go much for small, we see say now act of Parliament creates that office so that man they work on the financial intelligence unit. We see say now from the consolidated fund they pay him, so automatically the man don't become a public officer. Then we go back to section 76(1)(a), where they tell we the qualification for becoming a member of Parliament. Because 32 tell we say if you want to become a chief electoral commissioner, the same qualification. And 76(1)(a) tell we say for you not for be a public service, if you're not a public servant, you for long resign at least 1 year before. And we know say this might not be resigned. So what you take Parliament, because this is very important. Plenty people don't cannot say, but this man, it look like say one fool we, he want udwink we, he want now don't know say instead of mix party twist and turn, all kinds of long come out. So what you want to take on that particular issue, because it's very important for judge the integrity of NGC as well as Dr. Kande Yomkela.
Once again, Mr. Mohamed Kamara, many thanks for the question we asked. The question is so critical. And Fambulem, while I want to pay attention to the question where the man asked, the question is really, really critical because sometimes they, but all the talk around the question, there can be one key, moment of the question where very, very critical. First of all, in my humble opinion, it's obviously out there that Dr. Kande don't compromise in integrity or in integrity, some people ain't go pronounce that. It's actually obvious because we only need for reflect, we only need for retrospect. Inside public administration, we get our management as a whole, we get something what we call entry. Or generally speaking, we get something what we call entry, depending on what you want to go into, okay? When Dr. Kande been come into politics, okay, it try for sell some things to we, where we, the electorate, for buy from them, for believe in them. That have been the point of entry. It's like say you try for sell your market. Wait till you sell to the general public for believe, say this market where they can sell a good market. That was what Dr. Kande did to us. It's not strange because then so everybody they do, you get for sell yourself, especially within politics. Because remember, say, politics in management, when they talk about or public relation, when they talk about it being a brand. So Dr. Kande been the sell himself as a brand. This unique brand, we stand for something else other than the status quo, as we know. And Fambul, and this is the critical element of this, we stand as different from the status quo because there was a status quo. There is still a status quo. When Dr. Kande they come, the reason we make most of we are critical now, either of them or people like we sort of been critical about Dr. Kande. Now, because waiting Dr. Kande sell we, this is not what is happening right now. It's completely different. And my own humble opinion again is because Dr. Kande, they fine-tune himself because of waiting if himself in. In other words, if you want to survive and you the flow, you get for flow with the wave, suicide the wave, they carry you go. Because it hard for let you control the wave, almost impossible for let you control the wave. So for let you survive, where you did at the water, you get for, manipulate and maneuver along with how the wave they carry you go. So waiting Dr. Kande been tell we initially, that's not what's happening. It's a different Dr. Kande altogether. Dr. Kande come and not form his own party, and not form his own movement, which they are subscribed to had he done that. But let me give him the benefit of the doubt. So it go join in daddy in party. We go join in daddy in party. Needless for that, I go over waiting happen there. And because of that, they get for somersaults, and form something else, a different kind of entity, a political party, because it been still get, hopefully, this idea for change salon. But it been get this small window of opportunity where, to many of us, it wasn't possible for let it change them. It wasn't really possible. So in that process, they manipulate boku things them or do twist and turn boku things them. Why? Because it been still they try for sell instead. But going straight to the point, Mr. Kamara, I hope so we don't understand, the Dr. Kande side, because even though I'm very critical of him and I'm being very realistic, because waiting in the cell week, that's not what he stood for in the very beginning. And because he been get a small win that day and still they try for remain relevant, waiting really they happen now. It's not really patriotic. Let's be honest about it. So we come back again to this recent decision of the NEC chairman. Mr. Kamara, and to the general public, if I can speak to everybody, please. The general mistake we make now is too many times we create and do and make the same mistakes because the Constitution we're supposed to be a sacred document where now in cover we all, where now we can stand by, where now anytime we can refer to, make citation or references to. Every time, you're in question, we abuse this sacred document. And I said it's not only in the now, but also in the then. But in the now, we get people the way we don't tell we say. We are moving towards a new direction. So we can blame the past for not respecting or for partly respecting this particular document. But then coming to the forward, which are supposed for the land, because life in a learning process, we see this abuse of this holy or sacred document still ongoing. The Constitution clearly tells we, and you've said that, you've made quotations or citations like 76, it tells we, waiting constitutes the legitimacy or the legitimacy of the appointment of a man who's supposed for head the electoral returns or officer position. The Constitution absolutely tells me that. In other words, this man for being not more than the age of 65, I'm talking constitutionally, Mr. Kamara, and Constitution is something where you understand very much, sir. I've watched most of your programs and where you deliberate on that. You shouldn't be below the age of 18, not above the age of 65. Clear, that's what the Constitution says. So if you deal within this remit, it makes you, with other things that we're going to talk about briefly, constitutionally legitimate for occupy or be in parliament or become a parliamentarian. Not necessarily a parliamentarian, but the qualification, the requirement for being a parliamentarian. From waiting we understand, this new NEC chairman not fits that building, and not meet up that building, it not fits. So if it not fit that building, if this bill also they talk about the person we're supposed to occupy the next chair should fit that building and this man not fit that bill, which means that automatically the man is not supposed to be the chairperson or the returns officer for the National Elections Commission. We're in a very, very significant post or position where they determine the future of the country, not only in 2023, but in many, many more decades to come, because waiting happened in 2023, it get a far-reaching effect in decades to come. So Mr. Kone not fit that position there as per the Constitution, Mr. Kamara. The president appointed, and the Constitution also say, even though the president get the right for appoint Mr. Kamara, the process, there is a due process, and this due process implies it. There has to be consultation between parties, stakeholders, It is clear. It's not an information process. Say we don't do I go call you by telephone, Mr. Kamara. Oh, na so I don't do. Oh, na so I want do. This is not what the Constitution says, sir. The Constitution clearly says there has to be a consultation process between stakeholders. It's not you alone. Yes, you are the government, but yes, you do have opposition, or you have a system, whether not the parliamentarian system, whether not the APP, whether not the APRC, whether not the election commission. There are stakeholders within these institutions which was supposed for sit down for determine the appointment. Yes, you, the president, appoint somebody because by constitutional provision, you have a right for choose that person there. But once you don't select that person or appoint that person, it's not official yet. You subject that person to the consultation process. That consultation process will imply 1 or 2 or 3 things, where most likely the CV of this you appointee, Mr. President, you will submit them to the other stakeholder them for their perusal. Let them have a look, a critical look, so that then go subject them to you back and say, Mr. President, we get objection on this and this and this and this. Now you don't throw the whole
Mr. Prince.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Prince, I'll let Oliver, they're small because what in do, there is a pattern going here. We don't see the pattern from the time where the MPs and go make that and claim and submit them, where the Honorable Kanye Umkela try for excuse himself. We also don't see where the issue come up for the state of emergency and all those sort of things. And another incident be happened recently as well, where the Honorable, then be supposed to vote judges them. And innocent are very, very important because these judges are coming from high courts to appeal courts, nominee judges them. And the Honorable decide for absent himself from parliament and will be part of the vote. These are all crucial things because what they do, like when you say no more constitutionality, is very important for the survival of democracy. And if this man don't come, stake in party and himself halting in the line of constitution for say yes, I want to be straightforward. It's very important for we as Sierra Leoneans follow we monitor. I know say boku people go on social media and supporters them because oh well, why would I not be voted? No, that is not the case here. You get him as in party and himself. There is the integrity of him very, very important. For me, we know say yes, this person, if they follow the constitution, for me, go say there is no legal basis to object to the appointment of Mohamed Conan as Chief Electoral Commissioner. It really undermined the base of your all arguments, of your all premises, of your own party and himself say, would they come for fixing them? Because me and you want lay people, we don't go through the constitution. You say don't highlight them clearly. Say plenty objectionable issues and there for contend with this money appointments. And say in any lawyers them, they don't see any legal basis for that for oppose or for object that appointments thing. You said ask, is it actually disingenuous or you don't understand?
Mr. Kamara, what you try for do basically is for avoid Dr. Kande and let people make the judgment out there. I just try for lay the case instead of at the column because I get your questions very clearly. But I make emphasize that constitutionality now they talk. Dr. Kande, above all people, supposed to understand this constitution more than very many of us. Waiting we don't advocate is people in need for the look at this constitution because the constitution are basic documents. Yes, it gets some technicalities about them, but generally there are terms and conditions of the constitution where you can read yourself and understand them. So Dr. Kande, according to what you say, they try for avoiding it. In a lawyer then sit down. I wonder who these lawyers are. Because you mentioned 76 pan the constitution. I will also mention 32.4a and 32.4b. 32.4a talks about the qualification process. 32.4b talks about the unqualification process. So I wonder which document Dr. Kande, a lawyer, they look at. The best case that they can make is like in the interest of the country, because probably there is so much acrimony between either side. We still no necessitate the position which probably they might take, except on the basis of numbers. So therefore, it may therefore compromise this situation and that situation. But other than that, if they talk about lawyers, when you talk about lawyers, you they talk about legitimacy, you they talk about legality. And the issue at question is one of constitutionality. The appointment of the national chairman, the returns officer, will therefore conduct an impending election where there is so much being said at the present moment as we speak now. So for let us say it's done with a lawyer, then a lawyer then saying enough fan NAYB way wrong, where first of all the same constitution say this man must not be a public officer. And here is the contradiction, Mr. Kamara, and to the dear audience of yours. Then, you know, it's almost like they can take we for granted, because you also say something earlier on in which there seems to be a pattern, not only with this, but there have been other things as well. Then they say, according to Dr. Kande, because the subject here now is Dr. Kande, you don't see any reason why the appointment of Mr. Mohamed Kone not for go, you know, not for pass. But the Constitution does say 32(4)(a) for let this man confirm, you know, for all that appointment, you know, for don't hold any public office. Here is the disingenuity, my brother. Then also they try for tell we say the man resign, because there is some accusation that this man in the head, the FIU, which are the Financial Intelligence Unit, I believe, in a State House or somewhere.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, which qualifies this man as a public servant and being paid from Usai, we know from, we need not go over this, because the Sierra Leonean people should not be taken for granted any longer, because you might have the powers that be and you get away with things over a period of time, but it's not going to be all of the time. There is a limit, you know, here to this, when you shall be called to question. And here is the thing, because you never say that this man not the work for the FI, not be the work for the FIU. But you they argue now, say, if you don't resign, there are contradictions. Almost all the time, this is what they try to do to us, the public. That this man, if in the work, but this man may not do up 1 year before time. But what they can try for do now, use the various cyber units and minions for inject these falsities, these fallacies into the general conversation, so that in the end, we all do get confused. But even in all of this confusion, okay, in all of this media or news saturation, the truth is still there. No matter how much you trample on them, it never goes away. It rises up again. Just like how Jesus Christ rose up, you know, here from the dead and ascended up to heaven. This is what the truth is. So you can mass them, because we know 32 say, if the man be employed within a period in which we will call him, or service we will call a public servant, and the qualification being paid, you know, here from the consolidated fund, for let it qualify, because the qualification get boku, you know, here requirements them. Parliamentary requirements, 65, no more than 65, no less than 18. Not a public servant, not being paid from the consolidated fund, and all of these things. And it seems like Mr. Kone, not too long ago, still had a job. Now, how long can you fool the Sierra Leonean people? I'm not saying the Sierra Leonean people have been fooled in this instance, because the truth will come out eventually. Or is it just deliberate, that because you just want to get things done in the now, so you don't mind the consequence, you know, here like later? And for me, this is fundamentally wrong. And if people like Dr. Kande defend himself within this kind of circumstance, again, for remember that posterity go judge him wrongly. And as a man, you know, here we don't apply in trade in the Western world, where most of we can look to for moral compass, moral universe, moral judgment, then you get for understand, say, in legacy is being smeared. Because either then they overlook we, like say, we still crude, we still archaic, and live in some period where we don't know what we are talking about with the people, that anybody can come and mesmerize with we. The kind Dr. Kande been projecting himself saying they can save we, and then eventually he is now playing ball with the people, the same people where now they don't manipulate we and keep we down. Then of course history will never be kind to him, and he need for know this. So except if they do one for the now, what is there for him in the now, or there is no intention, you know, here for a name for go down good in history, and so that it will preserve in legacy as one of the Sierra Leoneans that ever we keep to in principles. He was part and parcel of a regime, a atrocious regime Nasalo, a military regime Nasalo. But he find penitence, he asked for penitence because he moved away. He applied in trade in the Western world. He rose up, high, in which people like we will come up for that country day were very happy, very, very content to associate himself with him. And it's how they're calling him. But with waiting to happen now, of course, his good name is being called to question. Either he come out and dissociate himself with waiting with the Yeri in terms of whose name is being thrown into the mud, or then if we don't talk about him at all, then we know say he is complicit. It has to be a binary choice for him. Either he come out, he talk him, say I don't mix, not to me this or waiting and they say, or he keeps silent and we know say he complicit. This is for me, Dr. Kande.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emil Koma, the founder and CEO of the Then and Now Media Empire. One time you thank you because I believe say this most where you don't clarify plenty things them where the guests them, the viewers and the subsequent listeners and go benefits. And I believe say we don't come and lay this topic as objectively as possible, where we know they take no sign at this platform, we they present the facts and we they all people them accountable according to the actions, according to what they say. What we talk now today about the Honorable Dr. Kande Kole Yom Kela, now a clear trajectory of your own part in governance. Because now instead of part of the government, instead the government now in action, it don't come out from the talk, say, oh, if I make this, if I go do this, I go do this, I go do this. Now the opportunity is there for him. We not say yes, as a member of parliament, nothing go good, nothing go say anything, but in action where he go take, it go be exemplified, say, well, this person, now person this way stand out. Where they show say yes, what he believe him. We don't see in several times, we don't see even a member of parliament when a part of the government, where we don't stand up, when the Honorable Tawa, he said stand up. And we don't see other plenty people, we don't stand up opposition member, we don't stand up and make a point where people take and say, yes, these people are patriotic, these people are principled, and all these sort of things here. So, but now, like what you say, the question is out to the people. It's up to the people of Sierra Leone for make the judgment with this presentation we don't make, where we don't see plenty lapses them and the promises them of the Moses of Sierra Leone for can save we, from all the waiting and call. We're not able, we not see it in yet when they propel we for all believe say yes. This talk all over the year from his supporters them, from people that they promote them. We never see yet the path. For sure, we say this might they follow this path. Wait till they see things them where really they show we some sort of deceitfulness, maybe out of ignorance. We don't know, but we cannot take them out of ignorance because of the experience and expertise where this man supposed to get. You're baffled. But like again, I want to tell you thank you plenty. I also want to tell with viewers them, with subsequent listeners them, thank you plenty. This program Inside Salon na regular program na the Then and Now Media Empire where they broadcast live na Facebook. And please, the subsequent videos I get for promote na YouTube. When I go na YouTube, when I subscribe, and we continue for promote this particular platform. This platform now one of its kind, very objective, very clear. We they do plenty research, thorough analysis them for brilliant cancer now. So now say go make up on our mind as Sierra Leoneans then. We they do the heavy lifting, the hard work. All what we need is una continuous support for promote this platform here. So go to YouTube, subscribe, go to Facebook page, like the page and everything, and always on a genuine at 8 o'clock every Saturday. This program the day na Inside Salon today, and all of subsequent program that they can get for day na this platform here. Plenty tell them. So now they watch out for them program, they look for the upcoming program them, and like why they tell them I'm gonna continue for support to it because this platform now one of its kind. Very objective, very transparent, very democratic, progressive, and patriotic. Now, thank you very much. We'll stop now. So I want to thank you for plenty numerous comments.
Just a quick reminder, sir, that you get a program tomorrow, an exclusive program where they talk about McKinney specifically, and then the how you call them, the sons and daughters of McKinney, we're not the actual name, instead like minds of McKinney and this generator business where they see them buy. So you will more on that also tomorrow. So
okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emin Kuruma. This same time tomorrow, this is another breaking news where we just keep me Gigi's now where the founder and CEO don't count it. The people but this McKinney issue in terms of the disaster we happen at McKinney, people where they help for fundraise, for do so many things, and for help the people in McKinney and for help the country. Basically, because you help people at McKinney, you don't help Salone. Then go then at this platform tomorrow. And this same time tomorrow, do you want to join me again tomorrow because there are another serious and very important and relevant program that one day tomorrow. Una journey will they come from different angles. We ask them critical questions. Most of una be they ask on social media. So please, the flyers and get for come out. Una help for share them. Una inform so many other people. Una support this platform. This platform, the quality now one of its kind. We get people who they can who they ask them thorough questioning and do plenty research them and bring and counsel now. Let not be the judges them. Not all they make judgments now. We they have to bring kind of fact to now. Not to then through the way they say from different angles. Now from waiting not happen with evidence-based research, we bring and counsel now, and we now will be the judges them. Again, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma, I don't know if you forget to say the last word, so that you will say something to viewers then. Maybe you say one go more say for tell them thank you and for tell them and then continue for support this channel here.
Yes, Mr. Kamara, thank you so much again for giving me, the last opportunity, here for talk. Obviously, I think you've said it all. Not really much for us say, or other than for just, buttress, which you already don't say, which there are many programs that come up. Then and now it's a work in progress. And trust me, it's going to, it's kicked off already. We get few problems, hiccups here and there, but we know what we want to do. And then and now, it's not about the journey any longer. And I think I said this some time ago. It's about the destination. And then we focus the destination. It's not a journey because we understand the journey. But yes, we do have few programs that when they come up, like we health program, they come up by Salome this Tuesday or Wednesday, but when I keep watching, of course, tomorrow, Mr. Kamara getting exclusive program on this McKinney issue. And then maybe we don't get the announcement and few other things then, and it's a work in progress. But having said this, Mr. Kamara, I mean, you're a fabulous host. Thank you so much, for bringing me on your live program. And I really appreciate that. And God bless you and God bless the rest of the audience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Mikoma, for that final word. And the question, Mr. appreciate you where you genuine because you're a man with vast knowledge and thorough analysis. And I believe say the viewers as well appreciate you and appreciate this platform here. So I want to thank you, special one now to viewers them and people who go for subsequently listening or watch this program here. I want to thank you very much. May God bless you all and Eid Mubarak to you all. Thank you and tata.